So you go to the head of the class.
Okay, if I can have your attention a little bit. If I can have your attention, I appreciate everybody that's come out tonight. I just want to tell you a little bit of situation. Because of weather conditions, we're very careful about it. The pilot makes the decision whether we're going to fly or not. And I want Pam Sesnick is the senior crew chief, and she handles all of the crews. I'm a crew member. I listen to her. And and I also have her husband is the president of Honor Flight, and Luke is out in Holdingford with one of our balloons right now. We are not going to be able to fly tonight because of weather conditions. We got 23 mile an hour to 31 mile an hour winds when we get further up. My 92-year-old mother over here decided that she didn't want to fly because of that. But we're not going to be able to fly. So what we're going to do when we get finished here, we're going to fill a bunch of helium balloons, small ones. We call them
Five balls.
Five balls, thank you. 5 balls, which tests the wind and so forth. And we're going to get one for each of you, and then we're going to release them. Now, a couple things about Freedom Flight. First of all, Freedom Flight, we are the only POW MIA balloon that flies in the world. We have 4 in our inventory. We've got a number of pilots, and I want Pam right now to introduce the pilot who came up from southern Minnesota if we were going to fly. If you would introduce Craig, please.
Sure. I've known Craig
And his wife.
for
22, 23 years?
something like that. It's been a
Something
long
like
time.
that.
We don't have to go back that far. But that just starts showing
We were
our
both
age.
real young.
Yeah, we were really young. Yeah, we grew up together now.
You're 12.
Yeah, exactly. But he's one of our pilots from Rochester, Minnesota. And Luke and I used to take the balloon, the POWMIA balloon, to Rochester for 5-6 years, I think, or even longer, and used to fly with them. And then Craig had approached us and asked us if he would, be willing to fly one of our balloons if we ever were in a pinch and needed a pilot. So I will let Craig go on because he's an awesome pilot, but I'll let him give a little bit of history of how long he's been flying and so forth and so on. And then his lovely sweetheart, I didn't think it was a wife, so that's why I didn't want to go there yet, so is Jeannie. So, and she's came from Rochester too, but she's like his crew chief like I am for Luke, so.
Well, ballooning for me, real briefly here, started out when I saw one go by one night. And I followed the guy, saw the balloon land, went up to him, talked to him a little bit, helped him pack it up with the crew, and that's where it all started. And that was close to 30 years ago. So, caught my imagination, and I thought it was a thrill. I've been a pilot since '97, I guess it was, when I got certified, and it's just a pleasure to be able to come up here and try to do this for you guys. To be involved with the POW MIA balloon or Freedom Flight is a humbling flight for me, or a humbling experience, and I just appreciate everybody being out here. Unfortunately, because of the wind and the weather, we won't be able to do anything tonight, but again, thanks for coming out. So.
And before we turn it back over to John, Luke and I have actually been doing it for, we figured it out when I was visiting with him earlier today, 23 years is what we figured out. It's because our daughter was very small in diapers and sat on the floor and looked through the little hole in the basket to see what was going on as she was going cross country. So, and I'm also a student pilot. I actually went through my course with Craig as he was getting his commercial pilot license. I was going through to get my private license, but unfortunately I don't quite have it yet because I have to retake the written portion of it. But I'm flying on Monday night from what I hear with my instructor, so. But after we get done with the ceremony, I wanted to let you guys know, John had a table and stuff, and I said, well, let's just wait and see how many people had showed up because there hadn't been quite too many yet. But we do have product, and we are a nonprofit organization, a 501c3. And the donations that we receive throughout the year is what keeps our balloons and our trucks and our trailers and everything, all the maintenance, all the insurance, and all the costs that go into it, because we're all, like John mentioned, we're all volunteers. My husband and I, we figured we volunteer over 2,000 hours each a year with just this organization. So I do have t-shirts as my nether motto will tell you, and all of our t-shirts are the same on the front and the back, but we have them in different colors and different sizes. And then my other motto over here, we have hats too. So we also have pins, as John, my other model here.
Right,
they don't realize that they're
right
my models, but they're doing a great job for me. So we do have them, and after our little ceremony that John would like to do, I'm more than happy to open up the trailers, and we have sweatshirts, we have jackets, we have flags, we have all kinds of stuff. So I'd be more than happy if anybody's interested, and we can open up the trailers and you guys can take a look at things. So back to you, John.
Okay, a little background on Freedom Flight also. Freedom Flight was started by Dr. Jim Torella. Dr. Jim Torella was a psychologist at the VA hospital for 25 years.
Yes.
And he is now retired and is in private practice right over here on in Doctor's Park over here. And Freedom Flight, when we fly that balloon, we want the world to know that there are still people that are missing in action from all of the wars. If Pam turns around, she will show you that these are the wars, the people that are still missing in action. There's a tremendous amount of families that have not got closure. Thank you, Pam. And what we find is every day in Korea, in Europe and so forth, because of forensic and so forth, we're able to identify the people that we find and bring them home and give closure to a lot of the families. We also have a POW by the name of Bo Bergdahl, who is in Pakistan. He's been a prisoner of war in Pakistan for since 2009. If you heard on the news just lately, there was a talk about Bo being traded for 5 Taliban soldiers out of Gitmo, and so he's been in the news of lately and so forth. He's from Boise, Idaho, and hopefully we can get Bo home fairly soon. But Freedom Flight is an organization that I joined and was asked to be on the board of directors a little less than a year ago. Because of my military experience, a lot of the guys that were former members of Freedom Flight and so forth asked me to fly in the balloon, and I said, I'm going to pay my way. And by the way, it's $250 per person if you want to fly in the balloon. That all goes to the maintenance of the balloons. It goes to the fuel and all those kind of things. We don't make money on it, but it just reimburses, but it gives us the opportunity to fly that balloon and make people remember that there's families that do not have closure to their families as of yet. So I wanted to take and fly my 2 oldest grandsons. And I had one of my grandsons was from Milwaukee, and they had to be here. Greg Tice, I don't think Greg is with us tonight, but Greg was the pilot. Greg is a remodeler here in St. Cloud, well known in the community and so forth. And so we were trying to spar with weather to find out where we were going to fly up by our house or fly out of Whitney here and so forth. And so we got things pretty well squared away and ready to go. Might be a little emotional for me, but so we decided to fly right up by my house. And it was a beautiful night. It was about 80 degrees, no wind. We flew down the Mississippi River. My grandsons were 6 and just about 5. So I said, if either one of them gets nervous or whatever it is, I need a volunteer. So Cherry, my wife, or my daughter Lisa were the alternates. And as we pumped the hot air into the balloon, my oldest grandson got a little nervous because he'd seen a fire and somebody died in a fire in a car the summer before. So I said, I need a volunteer. The balloon was about ready to go. So I had Cole, my second oldest grandson, already in the basket with me. And Lisa says, like she always would volunteer, I'll go. So she jumps in, she's got flip-flops on, she's got a skirt on and so forth, and away we went. Absolutely beautiful flight. Pictures, I've got a whole CD of it. And I was showing a week after that, I was showing the neighbors the flight that we had. And they were walking down the driveway. I walked back to the patio in the back of our house, and I got a phone call. There'd been an accident. My daughter was with her fiance, and there was an accident out by Blackberry Ridge. And they said she was being put in the ambulance, and they were on the way to the hospital, and I needed to go to the hospital right away. So we rushed into the hospital, and as I came into the hospital, Robin, who was great with child to have any any time. The last conversation was between Robin and Lisa. She said, we're just going up for crab legs. She said, don't have that baby while I'm gone, because they were each other's coach. Well, she never got that phone call back again. The accident happened. I met the helicopter when it medevaced her to the hospital, and met that gurney when it came in, and I went into the emergency room for an hour and a half, and we lost my daughter. That was a week after we flew in the balloon, all three of us. Greg Tice never flew again. He has a picture on his desk of my daughter, my grandson, and himself. So today, I've asked Freedom Flight was gracious about board of directors. We get one person that we can fly each year. We can donate it to Boys and Girls Club, to the Christian school, whatever we choose to do. And I got a little emotional, and I said, you know, I've waited 7 years to memorialize my daughter. And I said, I want to use that flight to memorialize my daughter. That's why you're here tonight. And I came back, and Luke looked at me and he said, we're not going to do that. And I said, okay, what are we going to do? He said, we're going to fly all 4 balloons. And we haven't flown all 4 balloons before. It's been a long time since we've flown multiple balloons. And I was really touched by that, because there was real sincerity. And I want those people who belong to Freedom Flight and are members of the team, whether you're crew members, whether you're helpers and so forth, please raise your hand. There's a number of them that are here today. And Craig, you raise your hand, you guys. Thank you. These guys are a great team. They're a great team. And we do this as volunteers. We don't make any money on it, but we want to make sure that everybody remembers those things. Each year we're going to fly somebody different. I want to introduce my 92-year-old mother right here, who has consented, if the conditions were right, Mom was going to fly tonight. We also have one other individual who's going to fly. We have a cancer patient. The cancer patient is not going to be able to fly tonight, but Monday night, if you get tickets for the Rocks game, it's Veterans Night. He's going to fly in that balloon. We're going to fly the balloon out of the center field. We're going to throw the first pitch, and we're going to lift the balloon off, and he's going to be in it at that time. We also have a young man who's going to be deployed to Afghanistan, an active duty soldier. He's 6'7". He and his wife are going to fly in the balloon real soon. We want to get conditions right for them. So we as American people come out to these kind of things and appreciate that you're here because we care about this country. And we remember that when we fly that balloon, there are people on active duty. Freedom's never free. And those people have sacrificed a tremendous amount. So thanks for being here. We're going to fill those balloons, and in memory of my daughter and in Freedom Flight, we're going to release those balloons all at one time, and the kids will have one themselves. I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight to be here. Thank you. Give us just a few minutes to get them loaded.
In regards to Bo Bergdahl and Boise, Idaho, last year, now I'm going to get choked up.
It's all right.
Luke and I actually had the honor of meeting his parents in Boise, Idaho, and they actually came out and they actually crewed with us. And we wanted to put them up in the balloon, and they wouldn't go with us because they said that no, they were going to wait until Bo got home, and then they'd go with Bo in their first balloon ride. But they were there the whole weekend and crewed with us, and we weren't sure if they were going to come out or not because of the fact that the media is so after them. They just, you know, you can only imagine. But the one thing that I told Luke, I said, was so impressed with, and I'm a military mom, so, but I told him, I said, I can't believe how together they had it for having their son and knowing that he's a prisoner of war and not knowing where he is, how he's being treated, nothing, you know. And I just thought how strong, you know, as a parent even, that you have to be in that type of a situation. So the more that we can raise our voices and to our congressman, to everybody that, you know, has any pull and stuff, to get him home and to get the rest of our veterans home that were left behind, that should never have ever been left behind, please do so. So, and the only other thing I was going to add is, it was with the little ones, if the parents wouldn't mind, because the balloons, I'm sure, in little hands will go poof, you know. Yep. So if you parents that are other adults could help the little ones in holding their balloons, we'd really appreciate it too. So give us a few minutes, and the 4 of us will go over and if All right, other volunteers want to help me? I can't remember names. I just went blank.
Is Darren here? Bill. Earlier.
I don't know. I haven't seen him. So if you guys want to help us and then come on over, that'd
Hey,
be
anybody
great.
wants to help, we can do that. One other thing I would like to do is, Reese, come up here. I want to tell you one thing about my granddaughter Reese. Reese is 7 years old. Reese was, as we lost her aunt, Reese was born the next day after I lost my daughter. You know, the good book says that he giveth and he taketh. This is what he giveth, as he took my daughter.
Nice.
Love you.